Awesome. Adriana, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy week. It's Friday. You should be chilling. Um, it's 4 o'clock on Friday, at least over here. But thanks for talking to me. How are you doing? How's the year been? Congratulations on Redfall's reveal. Twitter's been going wild for y'all, and I could see why. So I'm just super excited to hear more about it when news drops. But how's the year been for you so far?
It's been fabulous. I mean, we've been waiting on pins and needles for the trailer to drop, so I'm just happy that everyone else gets to start getting acquainted with Redfall and with the crew. So it's gonna be a fun ride.
I know there was COVID, for lack of a better term, turned everything upside down. So I know y'all
Yeah.
were like dealing with a lot, at least, presentation wise, like when the things could be revealed. Last year, E3 gets canceled. Um, what was that like? Having to transition in between probably one of the most devastating things to happen to the industry as a voice actor, and thinking about potentially things getting lost, or put by the wayside, because there are a lot of projects from folks new and veteran who they couldn't get it out. But what was that like?
Absolutely. I mean, it was so exciting for me when I found out that I had been cast on this project. I'm a big fan of Remi, so we'll about her a little more later. So when it came out that, oh, E3 2020 isn't happening, and then we entered that limbo state, it was definitely, a little nerve wracking. A lot of things in this industry can change. So the fact that this was revealed and we can start all getting a crush on that adorable little robot is I think just what we need to start getting us out of that pandemic lull. And I also feel like the story of Redfall, we're about to save some folks. So I like me that energy as we kind of gear up to get back out there.
And I think it's also just a like hella unique story to begin with. We don't get that much. I don't know that we're getting as much nuance in the last few years, but this kind of a story looks hella interesting. The characters are so just diverse and awesome, and to get more of a breakdown in the future about this title is going to be really exciting. I know you can't go into specific details, but what can you tell us about Remy and how you have to fit yourself into the role and vice versa? So, what can you tell us?
You got it. So Remy is a combat engineer, and I'm happy that my girl is repping Puerto Rico out there on the video game scene. I was really honored, honestly, that we were finally getting, an island chick like myself to kick butt and save some people. I feel like, I would need to pick the brains of the folks over at Arkane, but for me, it made a lot of sense, that someone coming from Puerto Rico and with everything that, the island has experienced over the past few years, would be interested in rebuilding and in bringing folks together and really having that go-getter attitude. So it made a lot of sense to me. And during my little uh, interview before being officially cast, I was happy to like flash my Harvard pedigree because Remy is also a well-educated lady. So hopefully we get to hear a little bit more about her and her special relationship with her robot. So I'm so jazzed.
I was gonna say I was a little concerned when we were watching the trailer that something was gonna happen to Remy, like off the bat. I was just like, I hope we don't lose one of these characters super soon. Um,
Right? It's like, hey,
yeah,
putting me right behind the eight ball there, but
no, but it
but
was
we made it
awesome.
out.
It was awesome because it showed just how resourceful your character was, and your the cast, and just how supportive the group was um for anyone in trouble. So it was cool to see how quickly that didn't happen, and and
Right.
tides were turned in a better direction. I know this isn't your first video game credit, but I know this is probably larger than the ones you've taken up before.
That is
What
right.
How were you able to just, keep yourself grounded and not get entirely overwhelmed, and stick to your guns, no pun intended, and do
That's
do what you usually do. You know what I mean? Like handle
right.
business. How did you keep yourself from just like totally, oh my God, holy shit, this is crazy.
It's funny. When I was like getting like tea and a snack between, our recording sessions, someone who was behind reception was like, so hey, so like, what have you done before? And I was like, well, this is my first like AAA game. Like this feels like a new world I'm stepping into. And the guy goes, oh my God, your first AAA game with Yuri Lowenthal? And I had to be like, oh God, should I be nervous? Like, am I like, I'm gonna have to look up Yuri's resume. I'm gonna be so intimidated. But Yuri's so sweet that it was honestly, and everyone was so sweet. So it was, a really welcoming environment. We had the kind of unique experience that for the trailer, we all got to record together. And even for some sessions after that, I got to record with Kamal, who plays Devender, and have a little bit of back and forth. So that was like a nice little luxury and team building. But again, it's so exciting to bring something of yourself as an actor, and I think I was really just geared up to do that. I did get to do a little bit of consulting on the script. They wanted to make sure that the Spanish was, as authentically kind of Puerto Rican as possible. And it's like, oh, I got you. Like, I'm bringing it. And I did see some folks out there who really enjoyed that. Taste this cabrona. And I was like, yeah, seriously, me too. Me
And
too,
and it,
guys.
it brings a ton of authenticity, especially when the folks on your team reach out for you for that insight, as opposed to just trying to fill in the blanks themselves. Um,
Yeah.
and again, I know we just had the trailer, but folks are hella excited, as am I, and it just looks so rich, and really, I'm not the biggest fan of horror video games, but this drew
Mm.
me in. And I don't know, at least with regard to like the horror genre, how comfortable you are in that space, like what it's like to feel or evoke that kind of fear as a voice actor, which is even harder because you don't have any camera on you. I know you probably have like some motion capture stuff, but
Right.
what's that like to channel the fearful side of a scene and stuff?
Right. I mean, there's definitely, as I'm sure other voice actors will tell you, there is that component where you do kind of have to sink into your body and get into that zone. Um, and I'm very lucky that my partner, he's super into horror movies. So I've been getting quite an education over the past 4 years and kind of sinking into that space. And I think what's so exciting about, horror and sci-fi and fantasy is that it just gives us new language to explore that intensity of emotion. So, you know, it's funny. My mom was like, I was texting with her and I had warned her, I was like, Mom, there's some language, but like, I think you'll enjoy it. And she goes, I love that your character is so brave and so badass. And I was like, oh shit, like, yeah. I feel like when you have a character who can really look, down the barrel and say, well, I'm here and we're just gonna get through this. I I don't know. I feel it feels like good training and good mojo. And I think that's part of what's rewarding, right, about playing these intense video games.
And judging from the way games, like when you think about similar kind of emotional weight, like The Last of Us or Left 4
Mm,
Dead kind of games, folks want that. People want that authentic. Oh, holy shit, what's about to happen? Or if something happens to a character, you feel for them and you feel in that moment that something has happened, not to just them, but to you as well.
oh,
I'm excited.
absolutely.
I
It
know
gets
for sure.
personal real
Yeah,
fast.
yeah, it seems like it'll be a visceral experience as well. I mean, visually it was stunning. And I was telling Noveen again, social media was going nuts for y'all, and I'm super excited. I can't wait for more news. I'm definitely going to continue to keep in touch and be able to provide coverage for the Nerds of Color
Yeah,
with
please
this and the work
do.
y'all do. Where can folks find what you're doing? How can they follow you and keep up?
Absolutely. So I do have my website, adrianacolón.com. So that's kind of where you can find out a little bit more about me. And then I'm also on Twitter and honestly, mostly on Instagram as Adrilingua. That's ADRILINGUA. um, get my little tongue out there with Adrilingua. And yeah, and I'm excited coming out of this pandemic. I'm like, I'm out there, I'm starting to put on clothes that aren't my PJs, and let's enjoy that we're still here, because
Yeah.
my goodness, what a gift.
Yeah, it's refreshing, and again, I appreciate getting to see folks like yourself and your castmates really bless us with this awesome project. And I know damn well it's not going to be your last, but I appreciate it, and I'm just excited to share more of this news with the Nerds of Color. Adriana, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jamal. We'll talk more soon.